Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face while you're sleeping.
The online world is filled with heartwarming stories of kind-hearted people who risk their own lives to help out animals caught up in life-threatening situations. But while such lovely stories can be heard of abundantly, we hardly ever come across narratives about animals that reciprocated the kind acts by showing gratitude to their rescuers. Here is a list of the 10 animals that showed gratefulness to the humans who saved them. Number 10. Indi the Kangaroo. Footage shows an adorable orphaned kangaroo Joey being very affectionate with her handler. The little orphan Joey Indi is cared for by Brolga Barnes at the Kangaroo Sanctuary in Alice Springs, Central Australia. She can be seen grabbing a hold of Mr. Barnes's arms and hugging him. He is also known as Kangaroo Dundee because of his work rescuing injured and orphaned kangaroos. Kangaroos are shy and retiring by nature, and in normal circumstances present no threat to humans, which could explain the loving nature of this one. Wild kangaroos are shot for meat, leather hides, and to protect grazing land, which leaves many young kangaroos orphaned. Number 9. Bella the Squirrel. When Bella was just a month old, she was attacked by an owl and left very badly injured. There was no way she could have survived in the wild with those injuries, but luckily, a wildlife rescue group found her and took her in. She was placed with Brantley Harrison and her family, who had no idea when the little squirrel arrived just how much she was about to change their lives. Bella stayed with them until spring and was raised along with 3 other squirrels. In April of that year, Bella and the 3 other squirrels were finally ready to head back into the wild. Within the week, all 4 squirrels were safely assimilated back into the wild. But Bella wasn't ready to say goodbye to the family who had raised her just yet. At first, Bella returned looking for some treats, which was normal as it would take her time to adjust. Except, time after time, Bella kept coming back. Now, 8 years after she was rescued, Bella still returns to the Harrison household regularly. Number 8. Nora the Adorable Dog. Everybody needs someone to love. Nora's previous owners had abused the pup to the point where she's now scared to death of every living being, except one toddler. Despite having come from an abusive background, her sweet and gentle nature shone through, and the family knew with certainty she would be a wonderful family dog when the time came, and they weren't disappointed. Archie's mom, Elizabeth, adores the relationship between her son and their pup, Nora. He is an extremely laid-back, happy, good-natured baby, and all the animals seem to really respond to that, particularly Nora. She came from an abusive background and is afraid of almost everything. Not Archie, though. She absolutely adores him. The duo is clearly inseparable. Number 7. Jiquitaya, the Jaguar. This is the gut-wrenching story of Jiquitaya, a jaguar cub that was abandoned by his mother in the Amazon jungle. Weak, inexperienced, and vulnerable, it was extremely unlikely that he would survive for very long at all. Luckily, the Brazilian military rescued him and nurtured him back to full health. But what happened next was the last thing anyone was expecting. And Jiquitaya's story has become very well known. Vulnerable to the elements, as well as other animals and hunters, Jiquitaya faced a tragic death. Luckily, Brazilian army soldiers found Jiquitaya in the jungle, hanging onto life by a thread, and were left with deciding what to do next. They decided to take him back with them to the military base. Jiquitaya was far too weak to be released back into the wild anytime soon. The challenge, therefore, was in feeding Jiquitaya and restoring his health fully. The local authorities decided to leave the jaguar with the military officers, despite the fact they were not trained to take care of animals of this nature. It seemed, however, like the young cub had formed a bond with his rescuers, and this turned out to be the perfect decision. Number 6. Jake the Firefighting Dog. Cute puppy Jake was only 3 weeks old when he found himself trapped in a burning shed. Saved by a local firefighter, Bill Lindler, The pup suffered burns to 75% of his body, including his paw pads. Soon, his owners abandoned him at the vet as they couldn't afford to pay for his care. Luckily, this same firefighter who saved him decided to adopt him. Surrounded by loving people at the fire department, Jake recovered quickly. The smart dog has become the official mascot of the fire department and now goes to schools to help kids learn about fire safety and what to do in emergencies. He even has his own working dog badge. Number 5. Pazzy the kitten. A tiny kitten had gotten stuck inside of a van's engine. Someone heard the kitten's cries for help and called police officer John Passarella to the scene. He was able to rescue the kitten from clear and present danger, and the kitten was so grateful that he bestowed a kiss on his nose. Our hearts just melted at the scene. One of the officer's friends adopted the little kitten and named him Pazzy, after the officer who rescued him. So, this stray kitten, who had gotten into a pickle of a problem, found a forever home. The kitten will always remember that some humans went out of their way to give him a good life. It's a sweet and lovely story. Number 4. The Grateful Swan. Richard Wheezy wanted to comfort this injured swan before it was transported. He managed to not only get the swan's trust, but it looks like he earned its love too. Swans are not always the friendliest birds, but this one was very grateful for what Wheezy did. It wrapped its neck around Wheezy for a hug. Being rescued made its day, and it won't be one that the swan will soon forget. And Richard Wheezy is one human who has the approval of a wild swan. Animals know when we have done something kind for them, especially in situations like these. Swans are such beautiful and regal creatures, and they have a depth of emotion that we may not even realize. This swan might even remember him for life and recognize him in the future. Number 3. Gigi the Owl. Gigi the Owl was brought to the wild at heart rescue and was very content with the care and attention she received. Most of us will never be hugged by a great horned owl. In fact, this makes us a little bit envious. But Doug Pojecki had the privilege of nursing Gigi back to health. She was very grateful for all that he did to make her better and showed it by resting her head on his shoulder, which is the sweetest thing we've seen all day. Great horned owls can learn to love humans too, and it just warms our hearts. And with that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by one of our subscribers, so if you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it on over to us. We might even feature it on future videos. Number 2. Meet Abigail the Kangaroo. She sure can teach us a lot about gratitude and being thankful for life. The 13-year-old kangaroo, known as Queen Abby, has captured the world with a series of YouTube videos showing her giving hugs to her lovely caretakers. The affectionate kangaroo can't stop showing her favorite humans who rescued her how thankful she is for their incredible care. While the world is smitten by Abby's gratitude, many don't know that Abby never really had a family of her own, making the caretakers her only family. She lost her mother when she was a few months old, but luckily, compassionate volunteers heard about her heartbreaking story and took her in. In the videos, you can see Abby starts her day at the Kangaroo Sanctuary by greeting and hugging her dedicated caretakers, whom she has created a unique bond with. Abby showers her caretakers with massive snuggles and love to show them how grateful she is for their loving care. As there is a common belief that kangaroos are overpopulated in the outback, others believe that they are reasoning the kangaroo meat, leather, and hides industry in order to legitimize it, which leaves many kangaroos orphaned. Number 1. Rada Manessa, the cat nurse. A kitty in Poland has taken it upon himself to prove that black cats should no longer be considered harbingers of bad news. Rada Manessa is a black feline in an animal shelter in Bydgoszcz who has turned into a nurse of sorts for other animals at the facility. He was brought to the shelter with an inflamed respiratory tract when he was only 2 months old. even though he seemed too far gone to be treated. The shelter veterinarian Lucy Kuzio-Zabalik took a liking to him and helped him fight the illness. Now, Rada Manessa is returning the favor by helping out other animals in need. Not only does he make a loving companion for other sick strays, he also tries to nurse them back to health. His bedside manner includes giving his friends affectionate hugs, licking their ears, and staying by their side to comfort them. What's more, he doesn't discriminate and shares his love with all species of animals, even dogs, no matter even if they're twice his size. He is single-handedly proving all the bad press black cats get is just made up. Well, that concludes our list of the 10 times animals showed gratefulness to the humans that saved them. Let us know in the comment section below which rescue story was your favorite. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell icon.